So things have gotten so bad for Donald Trump and his people that now even Fox News is going against them. And these are the headlines today then. Fox News among broadcasters refusing to sign Pentagon press pledge. And we talked about this before yesterday, to where some organizations came out, news organizations, and they made an early decision on, are we going to sign this loyalty pledge or not? There was one who signed on. I think it was the OAN network. It's like a right-wing network. And then everyone else is like, no, we're not going to do it. And I even said in the last video, I'm not sure where Fox News fits in this, because I was kind of curious. And today, Fox News came out and it's like against Trump. This is, it's bad when this is happening. I also want to give you updates on China as we'll get into this video, but I want to start with this because I think this matters quite a lot. The U.S. at the moment is attacking yet more boats around Venezuela. I honestly, I've lost count. I don't know if this is boat number 4 or 5. I'm not sure. It did say kills 6 people. We just don't know. I'm just telling you the truth. We just don't know. And I was thinking about putting this together with the Fox News thing. As bad as Fox News is, and as bad as their propaganda and butt kissing of the Trump people are, if something seriously is going wrong with something like this, be it Venezuela or Iran or something, because Fox News, even though they love Trump and stuff like that, they still want to play the ratings game. And if there's a major story, even if it makes the Trump people look bad, I don't think Fox News would want to ignore it. So something like this, so Fox News does cover it, right? They're going to cover it in a certain kind of way, but I don't think they're going to ignore it. It's right here, right? Breaking, U.S. strikes drug trafficking boat, international waters near Venezuelan coast, right? And I guess this is unclassified now. I don't know what to make of this stuff, to be frank, guys. My inkling is I think Trump wants to start some sort of war, conflict with Venezuela, but there could be any number of things going on here. And it's disturbing for me when I read right-wing, people, and you'll see it in comments, etc. Oh yeah, we should just destroy every boats and everything. But the problem with the Trump people is they want you to get used to military violence. That's essentially what they're trying to do here, right? Well, I guess once we get used to we're just going to start blowing up boats whenever we want, then hey, well, what if we just start blowing up stuff at the border, right? People trying to cross. Or hey, what if we go to the streets of Chicago and just start throwing tear gas everywhere? So this is where you don't want to normalize these kind of actions. And what if we do these things with no due process, right? It doesn't matter who shoots first. As Hegseth, I remember he was giving speeches about, let's get rid of rules of engagement. Why do we need to worry about that? Let's just, we're the USA. We can just shoot whoever we want. And I have real problems with that. And I hope you guys understand the seriousness of this stuff. I don't make jokes about these things. I also tell you, I just don't know what's going on. I keep seeing reports, we're spending all this money to blow up another boat. And standard operating procedures, if there is some sort of small boat coming, you tell them to turn around. Like we're the U.S. Navy, turn around, right? But instead we just, blow them up. Or you can shoot out their engines and board the boat. You can do any number of things. So we don't know what's on these things when they're blowing it up. We don't know who's on board exactly. And this is sort of where the media would come into play here, to where if there's a whistleblower inside, be like, hey, this is what's really the story. Let me read a little bit about what's going on with the Fox News thing. It says, Fox News, along with ABC, CBS, NBC, will not sign the Department of Defense press policy by Tuesday's deadline. Okay. The news network said in a joint statement, so all together, I guess, CNN, which already said it would not sign, also joined in announcing the new regulations. So what's this joint statement? Today, we joined virtually every other news organization in declining to agree to the Pentagon's new requirements, which would restrict journalists' ability to keep the nation and the world informed of important national security issues. The policy is without precedent. That's from, right, Hegseth wants everyone to do this loyalty pledge. The policy was without precedent and threatens core journalistic protections. We will continue to cover the U.S. military as each of our organizations has done for many decades, upholding the principles of free and independent press. So again, it's bad when even Fox News won't sign on to Hegseth thing. There was also some strange things that Trump was saying today. Have a listen to this.
Shutdown. You have the money to pay the troops on October 15th. Okay.
I actually have a man who is a very wealthy person. You'll know that when I tell you this. Who called a donor, a great gentleman, and he said, if there's any money necessary, shortfall, for the paying of the troops, that I will pay it, meaning he will pay it. How about that? I said, look, we're not going to need it. We're going to take care of our troops. But this was a position that's being forced upon us by Democrats. And all they have to do is just...
So that was Trump on some wealthy individual going to pay the troops, I guess. I really don't know. My first inkling when I heard Trump talking about stuff is like, are you talking about Elon Musk? Because Elon Musk said he wants to take over the military. Is that what we're talking about here? Because I really don't know. I just want you to listen to what Trump says. A lot of stuff he says seems nonsensical. But the issue is like, how are we paying, right, the soldiers? Also, while this stuff is going on, and trust me, I'm just telling you what Trump says. I really don't know what's going on with that rich person thing. And that would be an example of why you would want press to ask questions. What is Trump referring to? Is there some sort of private meeting, right? These kind of things. And even Fox News would want to leak that kind of stuff out because I'm actually quite curious. I'd like to know. But, regarding what they're doing, also, they're trying to kick out yet more people. And this was a real headline. Furious Pete Hegseth launches brutal fat soldier purge after viral Chicago humiliation. So these, I guess, were the National Guard coming in and they're out of shape. This has been a big problem among people who are recruiting for the military. It's hard to find Americans who can meet the physical standards. And for those of you who are recruiting in the military, you would probably know these things. It's been tough. And it's also tough to get young people to want to join, especially with all the different conflicts around the world, because it's not something you want to, get involved with. I'll just say it's just hard to convince young people to want to do it. Regarding this thing, and I want to talk about this because I don't think enough people are mentioning this. Hegseth, he brings a brand of, you can call it TV bravado, Fox News culture to the military, right? So this is all about making a TV show for them. And this is, what is this? I think this is maybe Army Navy game, something like that. Hegseth helps set the world record at the Navy football game for the most people doing push-ups at the same time. Now, why am I mentioning this? Is because for Hegseth, he wants to roll, and this would be Trump as well, roll everything back, I guess, to the, what are we doing? Talking about 1930s, 1940s, or whatever type of culture. And, sure, I'm not against push-ups. I like push-ups, actually. You should do push-ups. I agree. You should stay in shape. But I just want to also, when you put so much emphasis on this kind of stuff, you're losing emphasis on what's actually probably going to win wars in the future. And I'll just give you a simple example. I bet going forward that hacking, seriously, hacking, I know it may sound crazy to you, but I think hacking may end up being the most powerful skill for the military. Hacking, if I can shut down someone's radar, if I can shut down someone's power grid, if I can cut off all communication, for an opponent, whatever, I think that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not against people doing push-ups and staying in shape. I'm not against that. But there's things that Hegseth does when he talks about, he wants the military to be only one kind of person and only one kind of religion, you kind of get where we're going with that, is that you could be leaving out a big group of people, right? Because of the people that you want, Hegseth. You just want basically a bunch of grunts, I guess. But you could be leaving out a huge group of people who are willing to serve the country. And I just mentioned hacking because I seriously think that that's probably going to be one of the biggest things going forward in whatever conflicts. You could even talk about, say, social media wars, right? Propaganda, this kind of stuff. That's going to play a big part as well going forward in any kind of conflicts. If you can convince the enemy that something's happening that's actually not happening or whatever. I remember there was a report. I want to say it was with the Ukraine-Russia thing, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember hearing something about where one side was using, AI voices or whatever, because these days you can copy people's voices pretty easily, and you could call, someone on the front lines and be like, hey, time to retreat, right? And you could totally fake them out, assuming, it worked, but you guys get how that would play out, or even hack someone's communication and give, false orders. Like I just, and that doesn't discount the role that soldiers will play, right? You still need, a military force, etc. But I'm just saying, if you only think in terms of like, hey, push-ups for everyone, you're leaving out a large portion of future modern warfare, which I think is going to be, again, hacking and any various number of things. So that's sort of my thoughts on this stuff. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.